Okay, so that looks better. With low latency, I now directly hear you and see you if you write something, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so what was your favorite talk from yesterday's Flutter Vikings meeting? Maybe we have to wait some seconds till everyone is back. Cool. Hey, Techist. Fine that you made the way back to me. Thank you so much. Sorry for the whole disturbing at the beginning. It was just a viewer test if you are directly act and jumping back and so on and so forth. Good afternoon, Navigator. Checkbook, Navigator? Oh yeah. Yeah, I I spammed everyone, so no, the problem was that I needed to create 3 times the stream to make it extra latency low and everything. You know, if you are like me, an amateur YouTuber, then you need your 3 attempts to start with your stream. Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, as you maybe have heard yesterday, the Flutter Vikings have a contest that you should create a Flutter Vikings logo with the custom painter. And actually, I want to, yeah, the 4th time is the goal. And I wanted to just try it out if I can do that, if I'm able to manage that. And I thought, why don't I take you into that journey and we just create that one by one together. So I'm very well, thank you. How to create custom widgets. I think everything is a widget. So as soon as you create a stateless widget, you have your first widget. But I would suggest that we maybe jump right away on my machine. And for that, I switch to the live scene. Let's see what happens. So that worked perfectly. Who guessed that? And now I just have to switch the keyboard. Oh, there. Yeah, fantastic. So, and let's start with Android Studio. And what we want to do is actually we create a new project. So for that we close this one. So we create a new Flutter project. And we take a Flutter application that we call Flutter Vikings. If you are interested in day 2, I put down in the video description a link where you can find the next stream of today's session. And I highly recommend you to check that out. Yeah, it's Big Sur. The update was last week. What is Punjab? So we have that Flutter Vikings custom painter. I think that is too long. Let's call it Flutter Vikings logo. And I think the new theme with the snow is very fitting with the Denmark because they have always more cold. Yeah, I think so. Since the last update and since I completely reinstalled my machine since then, the Mac is super fast. I don't know what I have done correctly, but now it's really freaking fast. And especially if I don't stream anymore on the Mac, depending on the and on one machine. So now my desktop computer behind is taking the stream and recording everything, and my Mac is just for working now. And this makes it incredible fast, happily. It's really a joy to work now. So let's remove all the comments and start up on Mac. Why do I work on Mac today? It is just because it is faster to update and everything. Can you hear me even? If I am a bit too loud, silent, or? Let's remove some of the stuff and hope that it's getting better. The topic today is custom painter. We want to create a custom painter where we recreate the Flutter Vikings logo, which is also one of the challenges on the Flutter Vikings Day. And so I thought that would be something that you are maybe interested in. Hey Milu! Jay! Long time no see, how are you today? So, how do we create a custom painter? Well, we need a custom widget for that, or actually we need a custom painter for that, but we start of course with a home screen or something. So let's create for now just a logo or a widget. And inside of our lib folder, I create a new file that we call, for example, the Flutter Vikings container.dart. So, and this is a stateless widget. So, and we import the material in that case. That's it. All right. So if we take a look into the website of Flutter Vikings, yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's the perfect time in the morning, right? So everyone has time, I guess. So if you have not been here already, I will share you maybe quickly a link. Wait, like this? No. Flutter Vikings. I think I did not add that in the video description, which is a shame. I should really do that. So, and here we go. No, that's wrong. That's the only disadvantage if you work on a Windows machine on a Mac machine on the same time. The keyboard shortcuts change very quickly. And the challenge itself tells you to recreate this logo with a custom painter. So what we will do is we will save the picture. And as you see, that image is an SVG image. And I'm pretty sure they did that on purpose so that we can work way easier with it. Okay, so an SVG can be scaled in any direction, but Flutter has some challenges to compensate with SVGs. So what I would highly recommend is that we transform our the wrong keyboard. Here we are. That image is an SVG image. And I'm pretty sure they did that on purpose. Easier with it. Okay, so an SVG can be scaled. I have the feeling that I'm sometimes very loud and sometimes very silent. I will double check the sound. Sorry for that. It's just that we don't have any flaws here. Sometimes very silent. Okay. Sorry for that. Maybe I'm just quietly set it. So maybe now you hear me more or better. Is it just me or? No, I think I'm too silent, or? Okay, what can I do? What can I do? So, is it now better? Still not? If I try to enhance that a little bit, like that. If I try to enhance that a little bit, like that. Yes, I'm sharing my screen. I'm just checking the sound if I'm too silent for you, or can you hear me well? That is my question. Yes, I'm sharing my screen. Okay, I hear myself now way better, so I assume you can hear me too. That is my question. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Whew. All right, so let's go back. So we want to recreate that logo, and now we get an SVG file. In order to make that better workable for us, I will switch that SVG to an PNG for us now. So what we can do is just searching SVG to PNG, and we will quickly find a web page like that, and we can upload an image and return. We will get an PNG from it. Okay, so this would be already enough to work with, but if we check, this has a very large size and I don't want to work always with 700 pixels. So my idea is that I'm opening Photoshop, for example, and taking in this picture, and we will scale this image to a size that I want to work with, which is 500 pixels in my case. So we scroll that down and we can see now we have that. And the benefit of that is that we can now find easier the points where we want to work with. But I will tell you later more to that. So for that, we can now export that to a specific location. Sorry that everything is in German. I hope you will find that very easily in English. Else just write it in the comments and I will help you. Okay, so we want to export it, and it can be anything, PNG or JPEG, that doesn't matter. And we export it and I bring it into my directory. In my case, it will be Android Studio Projects. And here we have the Vikings logo where we create a new folder, which we call Assets. And we say save. Cool. So we don't have to save that anymore. This can be gone. And if we check now our Android Studio, we should have an assets with a logo PNG with one file that is 500 in the width and 474 in the height. So I don't see the chat anymore. Yeah, so fantastic. We have that logo now. And to recreate that, we will put a stack. And the first layer will be our image, and the second layer will be our custom painter, so that we can see where exactly we paint on. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. In our home, we can now import this container here to make that green again. We import that, and inside of here, we have at the moment a container. But actually, we want to have a stack. And here we will have children. And the first one is an image. I don't make it an asset image directly with the asset constructor, rather than creating my own asset image inside. I will tell you in a second why. And this will receive a string to our image location. That is assets logo.png. So it crashes now, and the reason for that is that we don't have the image specified in the pubspec.yaml yet. So we go down here and find our assets part. We add that here, we remove some stuff, and here we have the assets /logo.png. And if we say pubspec.get or pubget, it should at least stop with throwing errors around. Okay, so, but still we don't see it in our screen, right? So one reason for that is that at the moment this has no size. And for that we give it a sized box because we want to make it exactly 500 to 500 so that we have a very good scale to draw on. You are right, I can have just the whole folder inside, like that, and with that we have the whole folder of assets inside. Okay, it doesn't change anything on our stack, and that is a good question, why does that not work at the moment? So let's have a look. We give that a specific height, and also here we give a specific width, or better not a width, because we have a narrower image. But still I'm confused, why is this not there? So let's restart the application quickly. Okay, and here it is. Okay, so that image is now not in the center. And as you see, if we get smaller in the screen size, it automatically starts to get responsive. That is fine for now because we don't really care. Great show. I'm really happy that you like it. Cool. So exactly. So we can specify the height and so on and so forth. We can also remove that, but yeah, we want to keep that for now. Additionally, I will put that in the center. Then I'm sure that everything works exactly how I expect that. So as you see, if I make it bigger or smaller, it stays in the center. Also, if you have some questions about Custom Painter that I cannot answer or that I don't answer in this stream, down in the video description I added you all the resources that I use to learn for myself how the Custom Painter works exactly, and maybe we will come into these point by point inside of this small presentation. Okay, so now we have that image set, and the next part that we want is a Custom Painter. And this one will create us our drawing lines. So we will really recreate every step here now. So for that we have, is it a Custom Painter, or I think I took, of course, the wrong one. Custom Paint. So we need the widget. So let's see, this one has a foreground painter. Yeah, it's the Custom Paint widget. And inside of here we have a size, we have a child, and so on and so forth. And one of them is called Painter. And this painter is now our custom painter that we will create. So we call that Vikings logo. And this Vikings logo will be a class that we have down here. And this extends the custom painter that we know already. So it will complain now because we have two missing overrides that are missing. So if we add them, you can see we have exactly two of them. The first one is paint. That will take the information that you give and allows you to create your own paint method. So what you want to create by time. And the other part is should repaint. So that is a reason if you, for example, have animations and something, and you can specify exactly that it can be repainted. For our reason, because we just draw it once and then not anymore, we can just return false here. Okay, so for the other part where we say paint, now here we want to actually paint something. And some things that are important, and for that I will also remove that here from this file and bring it to a new file. Okay, I don't like the Mac mouse. Dart. And we import just the necessary ones, and I think rendering is enough. Yep. Hey Robert, nice to see you. Hope you are well. I joined yesterday the Slack channel of the Flutter community the first time, and I want to support them now a bit more than just as I did in the last couple of weeks and months. I didn't even know that they have something like a Slack channel and work together and everything. And many of them were surprised that I have not joined yet. So something that you could also, I don't know if you are part of the Flutter community already. So maybe it's also something that you could consider. Okay. So now here we can paint actually. And there are some things that we can do in this paint function. The first thing that we can have is a path. And let's call that final path equals path. And this path can have a color. So I just do it like that at the moment. Because we use colors, we have to import material. Why does that not work at the moment? So we create the path. Is it a path or was it a... Okay, let's have a look into the documentation. That is Flutter Custom Painter. And let's have a look what we have here. So we have a paint function, and here inside he creates a rectangle with a gradient. Okay, we don't need that at the moment. Do we have other shapes that we can have? Where do we find them? Let's search for example. Okay, so and with that we find, for example, here drawing custom shapes with Custom Painter. I'm really curious because I'm really bad in keeping up with communities, so I hope this time it's a bit different. Hey Abdi, nice to see you. You just ask someone, I think, and you provide some valuable insights in Flutter, and then you get somehow invited. I don't know either because I'm really fresh there. So, so how does he do it? He creates all that. So he creates his top shape with the painter. And I want to take a look, how does it work? So was it the path up here? I saw it. It's the paint. The first thing is the paint. Of course, not the path. The paint. So with that, we specify the color, for example, of our paint. And what we can do already, because as we see on the logo, we have one color in blue, one in bright blue, and then we have this shape here that will be a gradient of a shadow, something to create that. So what I will do is I will specify for each color a specific color as a const up here. So we have the primary color, which will be which we will discover shortly, the secondary color, and the last thing will be the shadow start color. So let's see, we add here color, and here is a color, and this is a color. And now we have to specify them. So where do we get the colors from? I'm doing that always very easily. I'm going to the website of the Flutter Vikings, and here if you make a right click you find inspect somewhere. This is now in Chrome. You will find it also in Firefox or Edge or wherever. And whatever you have selected here, you go to the element style, type color, and then just give any color, like for example green. And you find this little box on the side here. I know it's a bit small, so let me check if I can make it bigger for you. So you find that little box on the side here. And if you press it, you get this fantastic picker. And now you can pick everything on the color and get the color of it. And in our case, we want to have this blue color. And we get here the hex code, which we can copy over. And then we say color 0xFF for full opaque. And then we add the color number. And the same thing for the secondary color, 0xFF for full opaque, and then we can select the second color. There are also tools for Mac, for example, like the color slurp or something like that, that do exactly the same thing. So there are plenty of options, but this is always how I do it if it is something in the browser. Okay, and here we got the color of the start. Good. Exactly, and I think they are in all common browsers today, thanks to Chromium, and I think also Mozilla has a very good one. So digital color meter, let me see, color, oh yeah, you're right. And yeah, but then I have to do some, yeah, anyway, but we have the three colors that for me are important, and now we want to redraw everything. But if we would start now with the right colors, we wouldn't see what we are painting on, and we wouldn't see the difference that we make. So I will make that white in our case. So now we have a paint that is currently in white, but we will have in the future 3 different paints, right? So the primary paint, the secondary paint, and last but not least, the shadow paint. Or this one will not be actually the one, but let's have it like this for now. Okay, so, and how can we proceed now? Hey Deepak, nice to see you. How can we proceed now from here? So I would like to start on the left side of the screen and then on the right side. And for that, we will create a method. And now, or before we start with a method, let's start small and think with how we can achieve that. So one option would be we guess. So that means we create a path now, finally. I called it left horn path. And let's have a look. This is a path. And this path will now give us the information where we want to draw to. Let's have a very basic example. Let's make a triangle somehow. So for that, we want to make 2 dots. These 2 dots are a bit special because we can take some properties of this path variable, or we can also call methods on this path variable, but we actually don't return something new or void. We return always the object that is in front of it. So that means if I say, for example, here path dot dot, and then for example line 2, which draws a line somewhere, and because that whole canvas is exactly 500 on 500, we know that somewhere here it will start, and then we can draw in any direction. So let's have a line to, let's say 50 to 50. And then we create a second line that we say 50 to 50. No, that makes no sense. Okay, so the x-axis is the first thing, right? So we keep that on 0 in the first one. And then we go to 50. Or let's make it 25. And then we have, we want to go back to 0, I think. No, that would be up. So let's keep that with 25 and take that back to 0. And at the end, we close the whole thing. So I don't know exactly how it will look, but let's have a look. Last thing that we have to do, this path need to be drawn on. And as you see, we get here 2 parameters in this paint function. The first one is the canvas, and the canvas is the part where we draw on, which makes sense, right? And the size gives you the full size of the canvas where you can draw on. Yes, the recording will be available later as a broadcast, as always from my side, I think, and forever. True. Okay, so that's the idea. So what we can do now is we can say canvas dot paint or draw. I think draw something. Draw color rect line. Draw paint. Nope. I think it is draw path in our case. Yeah. So we have the left horn path, and now we want to specify a color. In our case, this is the primary color. And why is it the primary color? Because this guy will be blue later. Okay, so I make a hot reload, and now you will find this triangle. So this part here, that point where I'm going to, is at the moment 0, 0. And this one is now 25, 50. This is 25, 0, and this is, makes this sense? Yes, exactly. And this will be, again, because of the close command, we go back to 0, 0, and we are here. So what would happen if we go negative, for example? As you see, we can be also negative, so we don't have to be on the canvas to draw something. Not always beneficial, but just that you know it, that it is possible. Okay. So, but how do we find now that dot? So there I want to start. We have multiple options. We know exactly that this image is now 500 high and 400 something width, right? So if I'm going to open up this image now in my, let's open that up in, where is it? Let's go to the right directory on Android Studio Projects. We search for Flutter Vikings logo, go to the assets folder, and if we open it up, here we have now our PNG file in the spectator. And because we know that the size is nearly the same, we can have the pixels here. And as you see, it is like 130 to 15. If we select that point and move it up, we can find the pixel where we want to be. So 130, 12 or something. So that is just a roundabout, and we will have to check that later, but let's see. We will take 130 to 13, and let's see where we are. So as you see, it fits not perfectly, unfortunately. We are still a bit on higher there. So we need to go a bit lower. So, and now my guessing game starts. I just try around till I find the right one. And I tried now 25, and yeah, it worked. It is a feature of Streamlabs, that snowy effect. And I really like it because it fits to the Nordic theme somehow today. Okay, so we have our first dot here. And the second dot should be down here, right? Because you see, we have this circle part. So you could think that this one is a whole circle here, right? And this would be just the first part of the circle. So of course there are better options to do that. I will just do it very basically. So one option is that I say arc to point, and arc is a cut off of a circle at the end. And arc to point says I can specify a point somewhere on the whole screen, and it will draw the circle to that point. So let's see where we are. Offset off, so we start here and we want to be here. So that means we can take again our, where is it? I closed it, unfortunately. Let's reopen that. So we can use that to get at least an indication. And we find that this is 80 to 200. Okay, so that point would be 80 to 200, somewhere around about there. And you see, it is not perfect, but at least you get an indication where you have to be. And you see already, that is not perfect because we start always at 0, 0. And what does that do for us? We always go on the left side corner and start from there. But actually we want to start from this location. There is another command called move to. And as you see, everything is gone because that arc is at the moment just a line and it is 0 width, so we don't see it. So there is a line that we can't see. But what we can do is we can add here to that arc to point some variables, like for example, radius. And we can give it a circular radius, and now the guessing game starts again. For example, 180, which is the half of a circle, right? And you see, it connects the two dots together, which is not perfectly, I see right now. But we can fix that later. But it is unfortunately on the wrong side. So if I reduce that, you see it's only going to the opposite side, which is not a good thing to be. So we need it on the other side. So for that, we have clockwise. And if I'm saying here clockwise false, it's dropping on the other side. Fantastic. So now we can reduce that to, I don't know, let's make it 180 again. Nope, that's too few. So 170. And now the guessing game starts more or less. Oh, sorry. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Thank you for the information, Hamish. I hope it works now. I have no idea. I don't even know DSC. Okay, so hopefully I have moved my cam now. Yep, perfect. So, and with that, we have that made counterclockwise. And now the guessing game starts where we have to push it to its max so that we get the right radius till it fits merely our points. I will do it to, I think, 200, 125. Yeah, like that. And you can see now something. Because the circle that we actually search is the one between the two horns, I guess, and not the horn itself, we will have some offset. Yeah, it will not be perfectly at the end. So if you want to have it perfectly fitting, you will have to make a bit more work where you get the whole circle and somewhere where the center is here. Hey, good morning, Stefan. How are you doing? So, but for me, this is perfectly fine and I'm very happy with that. And to see that stuff better, I want to give that a white 30. Why 30? As you see now, we get a little bit transparency and now I can see the bottom layer better. And with that, I can make even better assumptions to the whole thing. So, and I try now to be a bit more close to the dot. So that is too much. So that will be 205, something like that. And maybe we can also reduce that once more to 150, no, increase it to 135, around that. So what you would like to do, is, or what I want to do is reducing the cut off that we have. If you take a look, I don't know if I make it bigger, then you can see it better, not really. So as you can see, there is a slight cutoff. And because you can't see it very well, I believe other people will not see it that way too. I hope at least. So I think for me that is perfectly fine. Oh geez, really, Stefan? Wow. Sorry to hear that. Okay, the next part is... Sorry that hits me somehow. Okay, get well soon. So if you are here, and now the next point will be here somewhere. So we do the next thing, arc to point, oops, to point, and we get an offset where we have like, we check that again in our inspector here. So somewhere around, whoop, I moved it too far, 135 to 135, I would guess, something like this. And let's see where we are. This is too far away. I think from the x-axis we are pretty fine, but from the y-axis we are too low. So like that, maybe 150. Yeah, 150 looks good. And the next thing is we want to increase the radius again, dot circular, and let's see where we're coming to. 130 looks already pretty neat. Something like that. And as you see, with that we can now cut everywhere these things off. All right. Good. The last arc, because we cannot just close it, right? That doesn't make sense, because if we close it, we directly jump up again. So that is not what we want to do. We want to do, again, an arc to point, tell the offset to be where we want to be, and we want to go back to 130.25. Up. And of course nothing happens. We have to add a radius, circular, and also 120. Yeah, that's not too bad, I think. 35 maybe. Let's see if this is a bit better. No, we don't cut anything here, so maybe 130. Yeah, that looks good. And what happens if we change now that color to primary color that we specified above? As you see, you don't really recognize the difference anymore. I know there is still some slide offs, and if you want to be pixel perfect, then you will have a bit more work than I do here, but absolutely possible with that, in my opinion. I don't know how the judges will see that from the committee of the Flutter Vikings, but yeah, we have to ask them. Okay, so, but now how do we do the right part? So we have now this horn created, but how can we do that side? It's actually pretty easy. So let's copy the whole thing for now, and let's say right horn path. And what we will do is we will take the size, and once more, the size that we receive here contains the information how big the whole canvas is. And because we say that is 500 on 500, we can do something like the following. We can move to the size.width minus the points that we have specified. And we can do that on all parts. And here. And last here. Oops. So that is our x-axis. And the other part that we need to do is wherever we are clockwise at the moment, but let's have a look first, sorry. Let's make it visible and after that change the whole thing. So right horn path with the secondary paint. So, do we see it already? I don't. Let's make that white. Huh. Did I do something wrong? So that is the secondary paint, primary, left horn, right horn. Maybe because I have not. No, I don't see it. So where I am at the moment, size, width. Okay, this works, but where is my second horn? Size width minus that and 25. That worked the last time when I tried it. We take the canvas, we draw it, right horn path, secondary paint. If I move that up, makes this a difference? Nope. Move to... So the start point has moved, the arc has moved. Maybe if I change that to true, no, no difference. Let's think about it. So size width is on that side, minus 130 would be here around and 25 is here. Then we have an arc point where we say the size width minus 80, so that would be somewhere here, 205, exactly. And then with the circular, weird. So that I don't see anything is really, really curious. So let's have a line 2 and just check if we do some. Let's print the size.width if we even get the correct width here. Ah, okay. So maybe that is our problem already. We get a width of 0. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So our size at the moment is 0 everywhere. Okay, so I forgot something, I guess. And if we check inside of our Flutter Vikings container, our custom paint has at the moment no size. So shame on me. So let's guess we have here 500 on 500. And now we see this Mickey Mouse ear, I think. Sometimes the easiest solutions are the best. So we have that size width now, and if we return that and say here clockwise to true, not this guy, on that side here, clockwise to true, and also here, false. So we get this nice little part here, but something is still odd. Of course, I changed this here to far more than it should be. So 135, and that's our second horn there. And with that, we have flipped it more or less on our canvas. So 2 things to keep in mind. Don't forget to set the size of the canvas actually, because else you don't get the size inside, of course. Makes sense, right? And the second thing is you can just flip it by using your size width minus the part that you have. Whew. Hey AKS, nice to see you. And what I will do now, thanks to the power of IntelliJ, I will create a method out of this right horn path, because I don't want to mess everything here inside this paint method. So if I press now Command, Option and M like Martha, I can create a method name, which is create right horn path. And also for this guy here, we select and Command Option M, create left horn path. Now we have our 2 horns. Great. Oops, that was a misclick. Fantastic. So the next part is this lower horn path, and this is getting a bit special because if we have a look here, and I hope I can size that, that works. And so this is a bit special because if we take a look, we have this as a starting point maybe, because from here we can have a straight line up here. That would be already pretty good. But then here we have this slight curve. If you take a look, it is very slight. So what we could do is having an arc till here, more or less. And then we could have an arc that takes this border here, that corner. Then it is look like we have 2 and different parts. And then from there we go straight down here. Yes, absolutely I could do that, because we copy a little bit too much, you say. We can do that, of course, why not? So what we can do is creating here one method that we call create horn path. And then we pass inside a method that we could say like create horn path. And we give inside a boolean that is saying mirrored. Mirrored? I think so. So, and if it is mirrored, how can I do that? I think if we want to do it here or with that, we would have to say that we specify a path, like path, horn path equals to path. And then we can say, instead of doing this, we say horn path, do whatever there is, and we return the whole thing. If mirrored, then we do this, else we do the opposite. And then this can be gone, and we can return the whole part here. Let's see if this works like that. Oh, that doesn't work. Okay. So if mirrored, okay, it doesn't work with the double points in that case. So I have to create both paths here inside and then have to throw return one of them. So yep, we get also the size, of course. Ah, that's true. That makes sense. So mirrored would be not a bool, it would be just an integer that we call in 0. And because we don't really need the height of the whole thing, we can pass here inside. If we take the same thing, create horn path with the mirrored size.width. This is a double, of course, not an int. And this needs to be a named parameter if we want to have that as. So this is happy, and now instead of this we would just have here mirrored minus Nah. Now I'm doing it way complicated, but okay, let's have a look. We have mirrored. And if mirrored is 0, then we don't want to reduce that. We have 0, then we stick with 130. So mirrored 0, then 130, else we say mirrored minus. That doesn't make sense, that doesn't make it easier. And if you are doing the bottom horn, we can just Bezier curve to get the full curve. Okay, you can have a variable that you have, you're right, from Mahtab. Absolute, yeah, that's true. But if I do it absolute, we still have the problem, right? It wouldn't solve anything. Yeah, but this would only work for the positive case, right? The other one don't want to be. We can try that. So math.apps. Why do I listen to you guys? I should just do my stuff that I have prepared. So we don't get math like that. We have to import it, right? So this will be up. Import math. Get it? Good morning, Ricardo. And let's see. So here we have now, I think we have to as math, right? And now let's see what we have down here. So we have math.absolute apps. Oh. Never listen to the chat. So math, Dart math apps method, returns the absolute value of the integer. Okay, so why do I don't get this method? Oops. And bring that back. Math dot eten, ln, log, squirt, max, min, random, pow. Interesting. It's an extension, so it's just apps, or? Null safety override of apps or the int class. It's from int. So then we have that also for a double, most likely. Apps, no. Int.apps. No. That's weird. I get it, I get it. So if I have 2, then we can have apps. Okay, got it, sorry. I was on the whole... okay. So we have mirrored minus 130 and this in total conclusion dot apps, please. Fantastic. So, and we will do that for the whole part here. So this is, instead of 130, will be 80. And last but not least, we have the 2 down here. 130. Was it 130? Let's add it like this. And here we have 135 and 130. Get rid of this. And here we go. So, and then we don't need the right horn path anymore, right? So we can remove nearly all of that. And we don't return this, we return up. This can be done, this is just return. Like that. Now let's clean it up a little bit with some commas everywhere. So like that and that. And with that, we could remove this part here, I guess. Tap, tap, tap. We use to create horn path. We have the mirrored inside. Sometimes it happens. So the only problem is that mirrored is at the moment just a weird number, which is actually the size width or the starting point, starting X, I guess. I think that makes sense. And we still need mirrored, unfortunately, as a bool. Mirror. So, and here inside we have mirror true. And the reason is because we have to change these clockwise. So mirror is default false. And now we just pass in mirror inside. And I think now we have to set all the clockwises. Clockwises and okay, close enough. Okay, one of them is wrong. I think this one. Okay, even more of them are wrong. So why does it not change for the other one? Let me get back the wait. So we have that, that looks weird. Let's bring that back, and now let's check for the local history and bring back what I had differently to the right horn. So somewhere down here, I guess. Up, create horn path here. Right horn, create right horn. Swoop, I'm copying that over. So, excuse me. So we have 135, that's correct, 130, and here's clockwise false. And the clockwise should be default to true, I guess, right? So why does it not work? Is it not overwritten? I could remove that mirror, and what we could do is just checking the start X part. Starting X equals 0. So, kind of like that. We don't mirror anymore. Okay, close enough. One of them is of course unequal. Let's see. Okay, it's getting better. It's weird to look at that. So let's check if this is wrong. No, that was correct. So let's keep that equal. And we have here the last one, clockwise, starting X equals 0. Aha. Look at that. Okay, so somehow the override of the faults have not gone or have been gone wrong. And let's remove the right horn. Okay, so are we all happy now? Do we have our goal? Maybe just to, yeah. So we could now even inline that stuff because it's just one line, but I keep it like that. Yeah, thank you, Magic Jet. Cool. No, but I really like that we have now already our horns, right? So if we change these colors, yeah, go for it. So if we change these colors for what is, okay, primary color, and I think I can remove this math thing now. So primary color, and this one to our secondary color, we will see already that we go very close to our result. Good. So let's bring all of that back. Let's change that again to 30 so that we can draw our next part. And I think Hamish had a very good idea how we could draw the other thing. Maybe we can try that even. So my idea was just to go as close as possible to it, but Hamish somewhere wrote, where is it? A lot of text. A Bezier curve. Okay, let's have a look. Bezier curve custom painter. Okay, that's not what I want. A visual guide. So Muhammad Salih creates this guide here. I think I have also for that the things below. Sad. I don't find this Bezier curve. What is it? Bezier curve. Okay, so Flutter custom painter. Let's see if we can draw that. Okay, so we have to specify different points, right? Arc to point, cubic, quadratic Bezier 2. Okay, we can try that. I have no idea. Size width times 0.7. Okay, let's try it. I mean, what do we have to lose, right? Okay, first let's check again where we are. So we want to start with this corner. And if I take that here, we have 172 to 150. So this is create horn. We don't need you at the moment. So let's call it left, it's a path again, left horn, or left below horn. How do you call something like that? I don't know. Yeah, I think left below horn is good enough. And let's create again a path and go for it. So we have a Bezier, what was it? Quadratic Bezier. So double 1, 2, 3, 4. We can give now 4 doubles, and these are 2 points in the curve somewhere. So how do we identify these curve points? Can we see a screenshot or anything? Horn base. Perfect. Let's call it horn base. Left horn base. Good. I think I want to have some kind of documentation once more. So for that, I will check for this method. Flutter, go for it. And let's see if we get an example. Not really helpful. Here we have again Salih. Ah, here we go. Okay, so he created GIFs for it. Fantastic. I will check if I can share this link with you easily. Or I will put it in the video description as soon as I have time. Then you will see it there. It draws a Bezier curve and as learned from mathematics, it does this with control point provides. Move to quadratic size width, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Cubic 2. I think Cubic 2 would be even better. Whew. Okay, let's try it a bit around. I never tried it. It's already in the description. Fantastic. So let's have a look how we can do that. He does it with fantastic parts here. But let's start first. We have to find the position where we want to be, right? Where we want to start. So I guess I had that already, but I forgot it again. So 175 to 150, 175 to 150. So move to 175 and 150. And just to make sure that we are close to it, we draw again like a rectangle, x0 and 150, and close the whole thing. And we have to draw it. So this is the left horn base. Fair enough. So where are we? We are not on the point. So let's try to come a bit closer to it. So 175 looks pretty good, but we are a bit too high. So 160, no, closer, 170, too far, 65. That looks pretty good. Maybe a bit reduction of this. And here we go. Okay. So, and the next line too could be the upper part. So let's check out where we are there. That would be around, that is too far. We need 160, I guess. No, 140. Yeah, that comes closer. 45, something like that. And one, oh, that's pretty good actually. Flutter shape maker site you can easily create paint. Okay, let's have a look. Flutter shape maker. Ooh. Okay. Let's keep web. Okay, so what do? I just paste that file inside? No. It seems I have still to do it my own, but let's have a look. We have layers, config, height points, tutorial. Okay, watch the tutorial. I don't want to. I don't like tutorials myself. Pick color. Yep, select. We have the width. Okay, we have save. We have the pen and we have move. Control handles are not controllable outside the canvas. Okay, got it. So, okay, I just draw the different points here. No gradient. So if I have a point here, here, and then kind of, I don't know, here and here, and bring it back. So now I have a shape. This can be a stroke, yep, no gradient, width. But can I increase now the, cool, handle? Ah yeah, that looks like what I'm searching for. So kind of that, and if I'm searching for this handle, we could, not the handle that I'm searched for, something like that. Let's search again for this. So let's see if we can recreate that somehow. Yep, I will also add that later to the video description. But just for now, let's have a look. We have this light, and this one is very curvy. So, like, and you again see that I'm absolutely not a designer. So for everyone who has a bit of understanding how this stuff works, sorry. Nah. It looks so weird. Okay, I think I made it worse. Okay, so we have kind of this behavior. I don't know. Maybe like that and bring this lower. So, and what can we do now with that? Even if it looks a bit ugly, can we get openness here? No, this is not the idea. What would be open? Can I upload an image? Nope. Yeah, it's corrupt. Okay. Save. Okay, we have an SFM file. We have layers, config, hide, clear, get code. Okay. Color paint path. And it creates this Bezier with the size width of 0. Okay, so he edits all that stuff so that we get it always as a responsive layout, right? If I see that right. And this is we move to the point where I started, and after that we have size width times 6 free. So the first, can I copy that? Yeah, sure, go. Let's try that. Okay, that's a bit too much of copy, but let's create it down here. Let's just try to copy that over and see what exactly happens. So I take this quadratic Bezier, add that down here. No, this is the paint of the other one. We want to be up here. And we remove that, and make it like this. So the problem is now he don't really understands where we are. You can add background image to follow the image. It is on bottom edit, and bottom there is edit. Okay. You want to have me on that part, and let's go further with that. So we have it on the bottom. Edit background, change, logo. Oh. Okay, I see where we're going. Scale can be, this is okay. Can I align it? It is centered, aligned. I would highly doubt that, but okay. So now if we have, wow, I really hate to work with the mice. So how can I remove all of that? All of my strokes, I think. Can I clear somewhere? Layers. Ah, here's clear. Okay. Are you sure? Yep. So, and now we want to go a bit closer to it. Here. So we start here at this point, we go to that point, and then we go, I don't know, like here. Like here. There and back, kind of that. Okay, we make these handles and then we start to try to go as close as possible. That looks pretty good already. You guy get a handle and kind of that. No, not really. Nah. Okay, I have to admit I don't enjoy that. So this is that, and here we are a bit too far away, maybe so, like... Oh. Yeah. Okay, I can only snap on the blocks, on the edges of the block, so then it is like that, and I have to put that somehow here. And here, I don't know, it doesn't need to be exact, I guess, but let's see. I just try to get a better result than just cutting off the edges that I wanted to do. So, what says the chat? Yeah, yep, we added the part, but all of that, the form size, so we can use it. The tool is great, but very bad. Move on the top left. I think it requires design skills and time. Yeah, I think especially the time part is there. But what I want, or where I'm interested, is this quadratic bezier. The question is now, can we fake that somehow? Because at the moment, all our stuff is hard-coded. And if we now start with something like that, and we just using the responsive parts where we have the line informations as part of the size, then I guess we will get some conflicts. It will not work as we want to. Like that. Yep, that's good. Okay, the question is now, we started with the first one, and even that is already somewhere off. Let me just try to copy all of them. So we get every single one of them. Also the move to, keep the move to away, but just these for now. Move to. Okay, and then we add all 4 of them. Up. This, and getting rid of this. Well, yeah. Okay, I think that is because of these parts here. With space I can move in that whole part here. Okay, that makes it a bit easier. And now the next question would be, can I set the height and the width of the whole image here? Because my canvas is way too big, but maybe unconfig. Yeah. So let's change that to 500 and this also to 500. All right, okay. We are coming closer to it. Maybe we can even create that one. And I removed the responsive code. With that, we have now pixel perfect things. Okay, let's try it once more and bring in my skills here. So you go there, you go somewhere there, you go there. Can I get rid of these height grid maybe with that? The problem is that we are sticking pixel perfect. Okay, so I have to draw that later. So do we have somewhere close to pixel? Maybe this guy? And kind of like this, adding the handle here, like that, and this guy can be here, kind of. This has to go up a little bit. Yeah, I think I found that with the responsive code here. Snap to the grid, maybe I can remove that. And then maybe get this higher. Kind of. Up. This handle down here. This handle can be reduced. Okay, okay. We're coming somewhere. I think that could be nearly a solution. Okay, let's try that one. We get the code. Copy pasta. Go. And we go down here. Cubic 2, okay. And replace all of them. And maybe I should also take the remove to 175. Okay, so let's try that. We remove all of them. Ooh, not too bad. A little bit off, but still not too bad. Hey Xaxa, long time no see, how are you? Okay, so we are still a bit off in our screen, but it could be also, no, it's not our size. Unlucky. So let's move that a little bit around and then let's just hope that we can fix that somehow. What is... it creates an own part. Did I miss something on the bottom part? Is it moved somewhere? Color, okay. Painting like stroke width, okay. But I guess that one of them is partially wrong. Okay, this is the bottom. So what we could try is... Yeah, I copy and paste. So if I go to the website, then I have the possibility to click on that button up here and I copy the whole thing. And I replaced my stuff with this stuff here. And then we draw it, right? I think most of it works. The only problem is it's slightly off to the right and now we have to move it a little bit. And I have to figure out now the numbers. And the problem here is, for example, that move to, we cut now very weirdly into the whole thing. It's a little bit different than I expected, so I have to try a bit around, I guess. So and I would do it like that again. It needs to be a bit lower, I guess. And this a bit further in. 170, yep, and maybe this also a bit lower, a bit higher again. Okay, so this guy is the top part. So to go to the next to the next point. So what do we do with these points? So if I change that to 150, for example, where do we go? We make that a bit smaller. Hey, Sulkanal GM. To every X and to every Y. Yeah, that could be, but yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Maybe, I don't know. Like this, for example. Yeah, I cannot calculate. So what was that? That was nearly 150 again. So it has nearly the same point. They are all around 150 somehow, and this guy more to 140. So what would be if we reduce that? No, increase that in that case. 155. Now we're coming closer. Okay, so 40 is up there. Like that, and then 90. Now we have to move it a little bit to the right, so let's see how we can do that. I think that will be this one. Maybe a little bit lower. Different. Okay, so it looks very pointy. The only problem is that spike that goes somewhere in between. I don't know yet how we can fix that. But let's see. Now we have cubic 2, and cubic 2 takes 2 free points, if I see that correctly. Adds a cubic Bezier segment that curves from the current point to the given point using the control point. Okay, so we have 2 control points. These are these. So if we change it to 125, this one can be 160 possible. So what do we change with that? We change the curve slightly, right? So if this one is 190, yeah, we get this curve up there. Okay, that looks quite good. And I guess this one transitions from here to here, right? And then we have that corner there. So what have we here? We just narrow that down so we can make that to 110, I guess. Oops. 170, yeah, still good. 100 on the way. Okay, okay. Nope, that was wrong. Okay, so this needs to be 185. Okay. Okay, so our plan for today is recreate this Flutter Vikings logo. We currently create with these Bezier objects, which are like a curve object. We try to go as close to our bottom part as possible. Yeah, and I'm struggling a bit because I have never worked with these Bezier objects, and as far as I know, they give you some control points. I think that that paths in Flutter here gives you a very good indication. So if you have, for example, a quadratic Bezier 2, you get these 3 points, and you create your drawing pointing to this triangle. The problem here is that I have never worked with it, and I think the last time that I saw a Bezier object is in high school, which is now, I think, 20 years, 15 years ago. So it is quite a long time, and so I don't have any clue. And now the problem is I'm making guess game. I don't really work as intended or knowledgeable as usual, because I just try around numbers till I get the right one to fit in. Oh, water, yeah, good idea. I'm prepared today. I think to add numbers and x's and y's would be really a good choice. It would be great if you had like a handler where you can just add and remove some of these numbers. So let's check this one. This is the only one that doesn't fit well, I think. So if yeah, this is the guy. So we can keep the curve, I guess, if we increase that a little bit. Nope, reduce it a little bit. Yep, now we are sticking closer to it. So this will be 200 at the moment. What is increase is a bad idea. If we reduce it, we do this. I think 200 is then fine at the moment. So cubic 2, so that means we have 1, 2, 3 points. So if we take a look here, we have 1, 2, 3. We should have 4 points, but we get 3. So how does that work? If we have this cubic 2, we have the first point. Okay, so we have that point from 2. These are these 2 points, and these 2 points are just giving how we move that stuff. So P0 is the first point, P3 is the second point. Now I get it. Okay, that means we are here at the moment and we want to go here. So that means we have to adjust the third point to here. And this is at the moment not the case. So let's have some fun here. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, finally I've got something. So this is the x-axis, so that part here. And we want to go shorter, so we go here to maybe 90, I guess. Yeah, that looks fine. And now we want to go a bit lower, so 250 maybe. Yeah, close enough. 90 is not perfect yet. Let's give it 95, 98. Yeah, kind of. And 240. Yeah, I think we got it. I could, of course, but then where is the fun? We want to create it with Custom Painter. That's the reason why we do that. And I think if you heard yesterday the talks about inside of the Flutter Vikings, you know that there is a challenge. So if you recreate that with Flutter Painter, you can win prizes with it. So that was the idea, that we have there some play with. So, and this guy cannot, if I remove that, okay, yeah. So we have now 230. The control point of this and this point is at the moment somewhere here, it seems. So the first point is, the first control point from here seems to be here somewhere. So if I take 100, that would be further away than this, so somewhere here. And 230, that would be, assuming we are here correct, a little bit higher, like here. And this control point needs to be go to the left, absolutely, like for example 80. Yeah, and I think the same thing belongs to this. How do we get this cut off? Is it this point? Am I wrong with that? Ah, I see. Okay, this guy is also a little bit wrong. So we have 100 and 185. So 100 is somewhere here. But actually this point should be here somewhere. So that would be 150, I guess. Yeah, that destroys a lot. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, got it. 59, 80. Close enough. Yeah, so like that. And now we have just to adjust the control points for that. So that needs to be a little bit higher. Maybe 10. Maybe 15. Yeah. Ooh, jet goes on. Yeah, I think the first 3 win also a dash, but we will not be under the first 3. I think they are already gone. So sorry for that, but you can still win amazing prizes if you participate. And actually I don't participate, I just want to give you a hint how you can achieve that at the end. So, or at least I wanted to try it, if I can achieve that at the end. So here the first point is this one, I guess. And from here we have now the first control point, which is a little bit off. So I think that looks better. And the last quadratic bezier has now one control point, and the second part needs to go back from where we started. So to 170 to 165. Ah, jeez, it looks not too bad, guys. Finally. Sorry. That all took way longer than it should. So we have the horn base, and I see right now that this should be actually the secondary paint. And let's change that to yellow at the moment, just to see what we have done and where the differences are still. So we could improve that still a little bit by moving that to the right. I think the starting point is not correct at the moment. So the x-axis can be moved a little bit. I think something like, yeah, increase it one more. And bring also this further, right? Because they are exactly the same, and we need to go a little bit up, so 166. Oops. The wrong way. 164. Yeah. And I think I could make it like that this one, yeah, fantastic. Okay. Yeah, Chinese work, or I think Sisyphus was it, right? Sisyphus work. Yeah, this guy. The guy who always rolled up the stone up the hill and the stone rolled back again. So you do it over and over again. It's my minor task. But still I like it. And so we have there like that edge and it looks very weird, right? So this would be our first. This is our cubic 2. Yeah. So here we have maybe a bit too much. What would be if we keep that for now and we just take this to the point 100, 185 and we just change this to 110 and 170. Nope, but 125 and 160. Better maybe. So, and then we can increase that 130. No, 15. Yep, better. Um, 20. Yeah, kind of that. And this could be 55. No, that's too much. Kind of that. And I would like to change the starting point slightly. The height has to change. Okay. See you guys. Thank you. I will try. It's always amazing with that small stuff here. But at the end, we're coming closer to it. And I think if we check against, for example, this horn, we are way better with that. Okay. I still don't like this edge here. Maybe you can increase that slightly. That will be the point between this and this, I guess. But also here, I think we would be better off with just a quadratic Bezier. The cubic 2 is a bit too much, I guess. So what do we have? 80 to 200, and the endpoint is 58 to 220. Now we could remove this. Nope, we need this guy. So somehow we made a cutoff now. That is not a good thing. And it's also not the solution, I guess. So, I guess this was not too bad. So we have to change the endpoint here. And we make that a little bit higher. This is good, but a bit higher. No, I changed something weirdly. So we have here 80 to 215, and let's remove that. Keep the number of the endpoint, which is 85 to 220. At least the part is away. That's good. Yeah, that's true. I also with Xamarin, I think I would now drive completely nuts. Okay, this is that part that can stay, but you have still some issues. It looks still off. Let's increase that maybe. No. Can I increase that maybe? Nope. I want to reduce the height. Yeah. Like so maybe, and this could be now it looks a bit, you know what, keep it like that. It is good enough. It's not perfect, but hey, I can live with it. You know what, if you want to do it at your home and you really have some fun for tomorrow, you can do that pixel perfect and show me your results later. I'm really curious how good you do that with your Bezier. And yeah, left horn base. Cool. And this makes no sense, of course. We have to take that out, and we want to create a method for that. Create left horn base. And that was the wrong name because we just create the horn base. And now we pass inside the same starting X part, where the size is the width. And we add the parameter down here. Good. And what we want to do is we want to actually do the starting X part again, reducing that and call abs on it. Starting X, the default value of starting X is 0. So why does, we don't pass it here inside. We pass it in the right horn base, like so. And then we can draw also the right horn base. Okay, so with that we can now starting X minus dot absolute. Oh, I think now we get some troubles because I guess this whole part will not work immediately like we do it here. That's gonna be tricky. Hup. Because like we did, we made this clockwise and counterclockwise last time. Now we have to do that for this part again, and I guess this will create a lot of troubles. Troubles. So, and now let's make that red just to make it the opposite color. Okay. So we have to do that now, of course, for every X element. So here, for example, we move to X, and here we have 1 dot, 2 dots. So this guy is also starting X minus this value dot absolute. Okay, going closer, adding some better commas that we can read it easier. So, like that. Okay. So every of these quadratic Beziers has 2 points, the first one and the second one. And the second one, keep it starting X minus 100 dot abs. Okay, we're coming closer, fine. Starting X minus 80 dot abs. Here we have even 3 points. So again, starting X minus dot abs. Okay, it looks better than I expected, I have to admit. So that's a good sign, I guess. And last point, starting X minus dot absolute. And last but not least, starting X minus this guy's dot absolute. Okay. That worked better than I expected. Fantastic. Okay, so we have our yellow and our red part. Of course, the colors will change later. Yeah, not too bad, I guess. So we have the horn path done. We have the horn base done. And I think that is a perfect time to make a short break of 15 minutes. Then I can go to the bathroom, and then we finish the bottom part of it. Right, see you in a second. This guy. So. So, here we are back. Fantastic. Okay, so second round. I've got a new coffee, new water, and thank you, Ricardo, for informing me that I forgot my mic. In Canvas? Canvas the tool or Canvas here on Flutter? Because, yeah, it would be quite interesting. I think also Dominic makes a lot of things and amazing work inside of these parts here. Okay, whew. So we have our 3 horns at the moment, and now we want to have an arrow, right? Bob Ross. Bob Ross is amazing. He made so many good videos. I really miss him. Okay, so we create a path, right? And we have now the left arrow, right? Let's start with the blue one, I guess. So left arrow equals to path. And we move to a position. And let's see where this will be. Reduce, reduce. I think this point would be good, and let's search where we are. 130 to 930 to 200 around. Then we create a path, line 2. Because this looks very straight, I can nearly say that this will be our second point here, which is 250 to 300. To 300, and let's close that for now just to see if we are even close to the different points. And I will add here a line 2 at the beginning, and of course we have to draw it. This is the horn base, and this guy is the left arrow. Good, close enough, I guess. So 150 maybe, whoops. Hey Naval, thank you. 220, a little bit lower. Okay, that's too low. But it's really true, this work is really more effort work than really hard calculation. I think you could maybe find a better solution than I do here with trial and error. But let's face it this way, this is a fun stream where I just have a relaxing time entering numbers the whole day. So 250 looks pretty good, but we need to go lower. So let's see, yeah, close enough. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so the first part will be a move to, then we are hidden again. So, and my idea would be that we have now first this corner and then this corner, and then we can create this drawing with the circle of the Bezier curve again. Or what we also could do is create in an arc. I think an arc would be also possible. So if we add here a line 2, this will be at the bottom corner. Let's have a look, like round about here. 108 to 440. To 440. Close enough. We go a bit closer, yep, and a little bit more to the left, so maybe a 100, and increase this again. Yep, that could be. And we have an arc to the point. We make an offset, because this time it can be a very easy point, because as you see, this could be a circle here inside. So if we make now the point to over here, we should be able to do that, or to solve that problem. So let's start with 100, 460, which is the same point, which reduces the likelihood of working, but 80 is too less. Let's have it, that's a bit too much. Yep. Like that, I guess. 63, 64, kind of this, and bring it a bit higher, so 450. 50, 45 maybe. Hot reload is such a joy, really, it makes so much fun with it. And increase it again and make that here. This has to be decreased, so we want to have something like that. Yeah. Okay, so we have a radius. Radius.circular 30. And yeah, 30 is not enough. 180 maybe. 360. No. It should be close to 0, I guess. Yeah. 120. 50. 10. Oh, so I like it, but we have this little notch there. It's still a bit off, so maybe we can increase that slowly and coming closer to a point where we are happy with it. 15 maybe. If I increase that to 15, and now we would move the point a little bit, because that seems to be the problem here. What would happen if we have the x-axis stays like that, but we reduce that, maybe 420? Yeah, that would solve the problem. Okay, so kind of, we have to find the right point where we have the right angle for it. So, kind of this, and maybe increase. Not quite, I think. 25. If we keep it with 25 of radius and then we increase or reduce the height of it again. Whoop, where's my mouse? Ooh. Okay, that was odd. So 450. Yep. And let's see if we can increase, reduce that again. Nah. I really don't like that at the moment. So kind of this maybe. I want this hard corner, but so, but if we keep that, I have to make this. Maybe I can put the point before a little bit further. So at the moment we are here. Maybe I have to go here. So up. No, I think with the arc we will not be happy here. Let's try if we can use this, the other one, what was the name? Quadratic Bezier again. Because we have one point and one that we want to go to. So we want to go to this point, right? And we want to push that arrow like down here somehow. So maybe we can add that. So we have a given point. Current point to the given point. Okay, so the second point that we pass in is the point where we want to go to. In our case, it is 62,435. And now we have the Bezier. So that would be somewhere down here, I guess. So at this point. Okay, so from the first point that we have, that is 95. That would be a little bit on the left of that. So let's say 80 and lower than that, and it would be around 480, I guess. Close enough. 70. Okay, let's increase that even further, 60. Okay, it's a bit too angly, but 480. Okay, I'm coming closer. No, I think 70 was good. 60 was good. Maybe we can even reduce that even further. So, and this one, 480. I will get that, I'm sure. Just takes a while. $490 maybe? No, that was wrong. So with cubic 2 we have another point that we can add. Maybe this helps us somehow. Let's see what we can do. Okay, with that we have strong points here. The first point would be somewhere here and the second one here, I guess. So 45 and a little bit higher, so 470 maybe. And this one would be down here, so that would be around 95, let's say 85, and this one 470. Let's go back to our Flutter shape, and because I guess we can get that here very easily. So let's try out. I clear once more the whole thing. Clear. Yep. Wrong button. Clear. Confirm. We have space bar to move around. Let's go here. So I would like to have just that part, but I guess I have to draw it completely. So here to roundabout here, to roundabout here, going up to here, here. Can move that a bit around, I guess. Yep. And back to here and finish off. Okay. So if we now go down there, I mean, for me, this was already a very valuable session because I learned this tool here, and I guess I learned also a lot about these cubic beziers. I have never heard about that before, to be honest. On the other hand, I heard before of them, but I forgot a lot. This is that, and this guy gets also a handle, then we have that too. So, and with that we have at least a feeling for where we want to be. So we get the code, we copy the whole thing again, go over here, replace the bottom part. So we move to that point, 249. So is it close to our point, or is it just, or have we been completely wrong? So here we have 142, 205. Yeah, that's the difference, right? But this beziers should be quite well. So let's have a look. We just copy all of that. And yep, bring it up here to our path. I think I create a new one just in case. So we will keep that for now. Oops, comment and add, oops. And now I would like to copy all of that. I guess also the path. Like so, bring it in and call the path left arrow. Okay, so everything works, but it is a little bit to the right top, right? So we could transform that, I guess. But let's see, if it's all a bit to the right, we could remove all the parts where we have this to the right location. So where are we here even? If I change that to 200, we are down there, okay. So we start somewhere here, if I see that correctly. 250 to 300. Okay, so let's see, where have we said we are? At 100, we started up here, that's the reason. So 250 and 310 was our guess before. Okay, so let's keep with that and also finish there again. So 250 to 310. Okay, not too bad. So then we made a quadratic Bezier 2, and this is the first point down here somewhere. So this can be still our line 2, I guess. So instead of having this, and I would just do like that, we would have here line 2, and we would add the first line to 95 and 300 and 465. That is because this here is nearly a straight line, so we don't want to have changes there. The next qubit is interesting. So this destroys now, so we need this quadratic Bezier actually. Okay. Because it has a handle on the side, I guess. To make it slightly so that this here feels like a curve, I guess. I don't know actually. So we learned that this is the second point we want to go to, which will be 59 and 465. Interesting, okay. So now 405. This will be now somewhere here inside. See you, Minu. Thank you for joining. It was amazing, as always. So 140, 150, 160. I think 150 could be good. Kind of, yep. But this is a line 2 right at the end, if I see that right. So doesn't make sense to add that, even though. Okay. Now we are not even a little bit further than before, I guess, because this point 73 and 430 is exactly the same like before, right? It is just a little bit off. So we said this is 62 and 435, but we can keep it with 430. The question is now, how do we set up the second points? And this one is 80 to 450. So 80 would be 20 more, so somewhere here. And 450 is also 20 more in the bottom, so down here is the first point. But we have this point actually here. So we want to reduce the x-axis by 20, for example. Well, maybe more. 40? Kind of. So the problem is that our second point, 75, is also somewhere there. 75, so that is why this makes this rounding. So we are here with the second point, I guess. 75, 430, and a little bit top. Yeah, exactly. So what we could do is putting that on the same spot. No, let's create that like this. So we are now on the line, and also here we want to be on the line. Close enough. The problem is that this one is now too far off. And let's increase that to, let's stick on the line, for example. Okay, and if we increase that now, we are on the line and going a little bit lower, like 460, I guess. 70, 80. Oh, look at that, it's not too bad. So this is the first point that we have, and now the second point could be also on that. That's too sharp. 450, 40, too much, but this, I guess that could be it. And we are about to end. What are you ending? Okay, what happens if I reduce that? Okay, we lose some kind of, but this is again a line path in my opinion, so we don't actually need that. So here would be again a left arrow, line 2, and we would go up here now. So this will be, I tell 62 again, and y-axis would be around 300. Yeah, that was close enough, fantastic. No, this will not be available for open source because that would destroy the idea of the pricing from Flutter Vikings. So I don't want to give that away. Oops. Okay, so that is this endpoint, and up here we have also that point, that is this to 205. Kind of. Maybe we go a bit higher. Yeah. And down here we have still the wrong point with 80. This will be 62, I guess. No, a bit more. 70. And this has to be reduced by 260 at the moment. No, 240. No, increasing 280, I guess. Yeah. Perfect. So now we have this 280. What happens here? Okay, this does exactly what I thought. So 200, what was it? 270 is cutting off. 260, no. We are going higher. So this is not the idea. We want to go more to the left. This would be around 60, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, maybe a little bit, and this maybe a bit higher. So we want to have this point somewhere down here. So 62 is here, but we have to increase that even further, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Whew. 290. Yeah, I can do that. Okay, so we have that. This is our left arrow. And what I don't like is, or what we could increase here, I will do it again with our dot dot notation because I like that more. It's easier readable. And give it that. Dip, dip, dip. Yeah, bring that, and fantastic. Okay, but this time we cannot just clone it. On the other hand, we can try, but it will not be possible that way, or at least not fully. So the right arrow has different end elements. So we have the path, we add again all that stuff, remove that, and give that a path variable. And let's draw this guy. Nice. So then they are on top of each other, but this time we want to flip that again. So we have again size.width minus that value, right? Because with that we can flip it. As I said, I keep that without the absolute at the moment because we will change there slightly something. Width minus this, size.width, width minus, and even this works quite well. Okay. Minus this, and what do we have here? Size dot width minus. I should copy that. I guess I would be faster. Good, 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 and good. Did it? Hey, Abdul Salam, tutorial V. Oh, sorry. I always, if I hear Arabic or Persian name, I always come with my short knowledge of Persian. Okay, so what do I want to do? I want to move that on the top here, right? So this point is not here, that will be up here, and this point there, and so on and so forth. So how can we do that? Where is that point actually? So let's search for it. If we remove that to 100, yeah, no, this is not the one, I guess. Or oh, it is the one, yeah. So let's have a look. This would be the same as this guy here. So let's have a look if this works. So it's not mirrored this time, right? So how would that go? Like 95. I think this is not the right one. So 250 and 310. No, this would be this point. This is that guy. So 142 and 204. Okay. What do I don't see at the moment? So I want to add this point. What happens if I give that 50? So if I change that to 142 to 204. Okay, we move up there. Okay, fantastic. So that was actually the right one. So the right arrow in the move to our starting point is up here. So that is 142, 204. The dot dot is pretty specific because we have this path created as an object, and move to, if we take a look into, returns us void. But we want actually to have that path back. And with dot dot, we say we want to execute this method, but then we want to return this path here. And with that, we have kind of a builder annotation. So dot dot is nothing else than we would take the path that we have here, dot something. So, and now line to size width. So I don't, what would happen if I remove it? Okay. So this is that part, cubic 2, okay. So where do we get with this at the moment? So if I increase that to 500, yeah, this is the point, okay. This needs to go up here at the moment. So that would be, let's have the preview here. Just take that point and have a look, 270 to 100. 270 to 100, well, close enough. 260 to 90, nope. 15, nope. 105, yeah, comes closer. 200. Perfect. Okay, so next part, we need again an arc2. That would be on the opposite side, so 240 to 110. Also, this is an offset. Offset, and we add this. And this has a radius. Circular of 180, I give it. Let's have a look. And clockwise false or true. Let's increase that one a little bit. 10, no, too much. 15, yep. And we reduce that size here to 230. Ooh, beautiful. 35, no, 25. And the endpoint is a little bit too far. Yep, that looks better. Fair enough. Okay, and now let's bring it to the last point that we need. At the moment we make a line to... What would happen if I remove that? Nothing. Fantastic. All right. So, if we now add the right colors, how would it look? Primary color and secondary color. Something like this. Did I make a mistake somewhere? I think one of the parts has the wrong color. So let's have a look how the colors are actually. Where's the image? Here. So that is right, that is right, that is wrong, that is wrong. Okay, fantastic. So the arrows at the moment are the opposite around. Cascade notation. Okay, good to know. So cascade notation is the word for these dot notation. So that looks already quite well. The only issue that we still have, because we had a fancy designer, is this shadow here, if you see that. And actually this is just a triangle from here to here to here to here. And it has a start gradient and an end gradient. And I think we can draw that with a gradient at the end. So, but first create a method again to get this way. Create right arrow and create left arrow. Good. So with that we have that gone. And now we want to have the shadow. So we create again a path, and with dot notation or cascading notation, what a fantastic name is, we can now add a gradient. I'm pretty sure with that. So let's see how this works. So flutter path gradient, arc gradient, sweep gradient. Sweep gradient sounds very fancy. I think I can fill that somehow, right? If I have a path and I have a color like this shadow paint, I can fill that. Do we have a gradient here? No. Let's check out the paint in Flutter gradient. Flutter paint shader UI gradient linear. Perfect. That is exactly what we search for. Radial gradient we don't really need. We just need a linear gradient. Cool. So thanks to creative maybe. Oh, okay, this guy. So let's go for it. So our paint needs a shader. Okay, let's go here. And this guy takes a shader. And as we know, a shader. So let's have a look. We can just copy all of that, I guess. So is that correct? Yeah. We have to import the library for UI. So this is the .ui package that we use. So import that. And now we have a start offset and an end offset. Okay, this is where it starts and where it's ending. So we can add here an offset. Let's say this is 0, 0. And we have an end offset, which will be on the lower bottom part. I don't know yet, of course. So let's give that just an X of 0 and a height of 270. And the colors would be the primary. We start with color. Oh, that's a good question. Which color do we start with? Let me have a look. So as you know, I do it with that inspect tool here. We get a little bit closer to it. Not here. Here. So, and okay, that doesn't work like I expected it. So, okay, let's do it with this. We add again a color. Any random color will do. And we click on the green box and we select the darkest part of that element. and get the color here. Good. So the first color is 0xFF, this guy. And the secondary color is the color, primary color, I guess. Okay, we can remove this, and this is the linear, perfect. So this shadow paint comes now to this path later by drawing it. So if we go to canvas.drawPath, we give inside our path, which is the shadow path, and the paint will be the shadow paint. Good. So actually we just have to move to, this time we know already the position, I guess. So if I'm taking a look, we want to move to that location that we had now multiple times. So the left arrow 120, this point, right? That will be this guy, I guess. So, is that correct? So 142 to 204, yeah, that could be. And then let's align to, and I would like to go from here to here more or less. We can, sorry, I was fast. Yeah, so we can have this point somewhere. So 214 to 336, 214. To, what was the 338, and then have another line to, and this would be this action here. So 248, 250 to 318 kind of, and close the whole thing. So interesting. It's getting a little bit darker on the top part, but it's getting very fast into the right color. So what I would like to add is just some of them to make that higher. So what happens if this gradient is set? The list of gradients is placed all over. So if you calculate this number multiple times, it divides that space that it got in 3, or in our case in 4 different levels. So level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. And because we give 4 times the same number, it will slower decrease to it. I think we could also change that differently, but I think that was now the easiest way. So what is this complaining? Must have length of 2 if color stop is omitted. So can we set something in this guy? Color stops. If color stops is omitted. Okay. How can I set that now? List of color stops. Kind of this. Okay, let me first fix that little arrow part. So in order to do that, we just change the color here, not to primary color, but to colors.white to see where we are exactly. So we see that we are still a bit off with this shadow path. So we are here, 214 is maybe correct, but going a little bit lower, 340, like that, kind of. Yep, and this one is a bit higher, so we have to reduce the number. 315, 310, 313. Maybe add 1 to it. Yeah, something like that. So, next step. Okay, this is now white, but actually this is primary color. So, and at the moment it is exactly the same color, which is not, as you can see, we have a very slight shadow at the moment. So my idea was just increase that, but it leads to a lot of errors. So invalid argument, colors must have long with. So let's search for this error, and I guess it has something to do with the color stops, but I'm not sure how to fix that. So let's see. This is of course the library itself, so it does not help us here. So how can I set the UI gradient layer linear? And this is inside of this part, and I've never seen that, so what does that mean? Primary color, that is this. No. Color stops takes double. Okay. But I have guessed that this color stops, is it just a, it's a list of double. So something like, let me Google quickly color stops, because I think to guess just this is not the best solution. Flutter. Yeah, so here we have maybe an example. So color stops, where are you? Implementation, color stops. Then only two stops at 0, 0 and 1, 0 are implied, and color must therefore only have two entries. Okay, so if I don't omit color stops, for each color that I have to add a color stop. Is that correct? So if I have understood that correctly, we would have here a list. 0, 0 is the initial point, and last point is 0.1. And now we have to fill up all the spaces in between, like 0.2 and 0.6, for example. And the last color will be then 1.0. So in order to see that now, all three have to be exactly the same and then slowly go into the gray one. Is that correct? It seems I'm still not completely right with my... it's getting stronger, that is for sure. Of course, because my offset is completely off, so it's somewhere down here at the moment. So we have to change that, of course. We have to change that to the offset where we're going. So 251, 251, kind of this. Yep. Thank you, Shifty. Somehow I was standing on the problem there. Yeah. Cool. Is it that strong? Actually, I did that now very obviously strong, but let's have a look how the image actually look like. So for that, I think we can keep all of that. The colors are working, that's fine. We could create a shadow path, but I'm happy with that at the moment. So let's go to our container and remove our image quickly. Comment with block code. Let's remove our custom painter for a moment. Oh, interesting. Do you have also the feeling that our custom painter is a little bit brighter, if this makes sense? So it's like the colors are a little bit off. I thought they are better. Okay, let's go to Photoshop and just double check the color ring. Not that I do here weird stuff. So select this color. Look at that, this looks different. Okay, so let's get this back and check the Vikings logo painter. The primary color 0xFF and give it this color. Yeah, it's looking a bit darker. That makes more sense. Okay. Interesting. So the color picker or the logo has a shader or something on it. Maybe on the website, that could be. Okay, so let's try to get this shadow here. And let's add some real numbers here. So this would be the first. Then the second step is around here, I guess. And the last step somewhere around here. Okay. And let's see how it looks like. Okay. And let's remove once more the, no, here, the custom painter, just to have a look how it will look like. Still, it looks like, okay, it has less anti-aliasing, that makes sense. But still, this shadow looks way stronger in their example. Okay, maybe we have to start instead of a blue color, maybe we have to start with a black color. What would happen with that? So if I remove these and these, yeah, I think that makes more sense. So just keep it in black. Still make it a bit stronger, I guess. Can we also blur that? I think if it is a shadow paint, we could also blur that somehow, or blend mode, color filtering, filter quality, alias, stroke, join, and so on and so forth. Okay, maybe not. It's a good question. Can I blur a gradient? UI gradient blur Flutter. Blurring an image, yeah, that's something, but I don't think this helps us here in this case. Ah, with a backdrop filter blur, maybe. Okay. So if we take a look here, the backdrop filter could be a solution for that. Image blur, backdrop filter. I think I saw something that we can add here, a filter. Image filter, mask filter. Thank you, Mohammed. And we have a color filter or image filter. And in our case, we want to have an image filter. Image filter equals blur sigma x, sigma y. What would be the default? I don't know. Let's start with 0.5 and 0.5. The blur receives 2 doubles. Yeah, it receives. Too many positional 0 expected, but got 2. Really? Ah, yeah. Yeah. 0.5 and sigma y is 0.5. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, it's getting a bit off now. Ah, this is good. Okay, I think that could solve work for us. What do you think? Fair enough. So maybe in 0.5 I add another black just to make it darker. Let's see. Let's remove that custom paint comment. And let's have a comparison. So this is the original. And this is ours. It is a bit off. It still doesn't look perfectly fine, I guess. Of course, we have some shape problems. That makes sense, right? But what I see with the shadow at the moment is that our one is too narrow. So we could maybe change the point a little bit to that side to make it a bit better fitting. So let's try that as a last resort today. So at the moment we have the line here. So we go 250. That is the x-axis, exactly, so we reduce that. And here we go a bit lower, like 320. Oh, that's the wrong point. So that would be 200, and here we also remove 200. Kind of this. Yeah, but I think this is now playing around with the colors until you have the exact right level. So 210, and of course 340. Kind of this. Yeah, I think it's quite well, or? We have some jumping around, of course, but I'm pretty happy with it. And what I will do is, because all of that is pretty solvable, I will put all in one file. And also this guy has to be in that file. Whoop. And you don't import anything anymore. We would remove this file, and we would remove this file. Or let's keep it for now, because let's fix it first. So see where the error comes from. We have here some imports. We will put on the top. And also these imports can be done here. Not necessary anymore. Perfect. So with all that, we will jump to codepen.io and let's have a look. If we press here on start coding, that was a mistake. I have to log in first. I don't know anymore. Maybe this one. Yep, that was correct. So let's go to Flutter, bring that in, and let's see if this all works. And here we are. And come on, if it is in CodePen with a white background, nobody sees the difference anymore, right? It looks phenomenal. I'm pretty happy with the solution. It looks a bit odd on the bottom here, I would say. It looks like a marshmallow or an egg or something, but yeah. Yeah. So let's see if I can share that with you also on YouTube Studio. Then I can, let's see. Now live. Oh, not too bad. Let's see where we are. Live streams. Let's jump into the live control room. Then you can see directly behind the scenes. And here is the CodePen for you. All right, so save that guy. And I think that was quite solvable. Great that we had this time and made some challenges out of it. Thank you so much for joining. I'm very happy that we made it before 12 o'clock so I can eat something. I really hope you enjoyed this session where we recreated this Flutter thing with our... oh, I see right now there is a bug. On a white background, it's ugly. I have to fix that. I cannot live with that. So how can I change theme data colors blue? You're most welcome. Theme data dot light. Why do I don't have a white background? So we are here, build sized box, stack, image, center. So wrap the whole thing in a scaffold. Call that home. Maybe it's getting, not home, body. And it's white now, perfect. So this kind of edgy thing is ugly. So I think this is our shadow that is there somehow. So where is our shadow? This guy. The line 2 needs to be a bit higher, so 310. A little bit inside, so 250. Way better. Okay, let's copy that again over. Save. A point underneath the left horn. A point underneath the left horn. Is it dirt on my monitor? No. Do you? This guy here, maybe? Or what? Which point do you mean? Can I zoom? Ooh, I can. No, only in the emulator. Okay, fantastic. This guy? This could be the shadow. Could it be? Maybe the shadow already started to... No, that's interesting. Eh? Okay, that's interesting. Let's restart. It looks like the shadow is a bit too high, right? In the emulator. Okay, so how can we solve this again? Let's see. And this is also the shadow. Make that a little bit lower, like 210. Yeah, it's the shadow, absolutely. 205. You know what? I guess this is this blur effect. What happens if I remove it? Yeah. So I guess this blur effect is not possible in Flutter Web, and that's why it's getting removed. So you know what? I will remove it and add it here. I think that makes more sense. Okay, good to know. No, but thank you. That solved some problems. Good. Do we have anything that I have to enter? Flutter Vikings logo. That's that. We have, of course, a tag to give. Flutter, and comma separated. Flutter Vikings and Flutter pen. Anything else? Behavioral, that's good. Editor, we don't need, that's that. And save and close. All right. That made fun, especially the last parts. Is it generated? Here we go. All right. So if you have any, there's the debug flag still. Okay, we are not finished yet. I mean, who needs a debug flag, right? Just is annoying. So I guess Hamish would be very annoyed if we keep it, so let's make that false. I think another update for this page helps us. Okay. Go. Fantastic. All right. So that's everything for today. Thank you so much. Check out all the links down in the video description below if you want to know more. Check out Twitter and join this afternoon the Flutter Vikings YouTube, right? Because I think they start again at 3 p.m. I guess. So when does it start? Yep, at 3 p.m. in my time, so CET. And yeah, looking really forward. We have a lot of fantastic speakers this week. Or today. Yesterday we had already Brian Egan and for example Mace made a fantastic talk, and today we have testing everything in Flutter. Very interesting for me because you know how much I love testing. Ashita Prasad, I think you know them from Flutter Gems, also very good. Simon Lightfoot, well, don't have to say anything, right? Snackbar, Scaffold Messenger, all of them make a fantastic job. So join and have a great day. See ya, guys.